Boosie's trial has been officially suspended after a massive and chaotic fight broke out inside the courtroom between police officers and gang members allegedly hired by Charleston White. And while nobody was physically injured thanks to law enforcement stepping in quickly, this shocking incident has turned an already dramatic legal case into one of the most talked about courtroom spectacles in hip-hop history. What makes this even more unbelievable is the fact that Charleston White himself has been openly claiming he has unfinished business with Boosie, and now fans are left wondering whether this trial can even proceed smoothly with such dangerous outside interference. Now, let's break this entire situation down, because to really understand how we got to this boiling point, you need to know the history between Boosie and Charleston White, the serious charges Boosie is facing, and why this feud has turned into something way bigger than rap. Boosie, born Torrance Hatch, has been fighting legal battles for most of his life. He grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, surrounded by crime, poverty, and survival. His music always reflected the pain and reality of the streets, which is why fans gravitated toward him and crowned him as one of the realest voices in hip-hop. But with that authenticity also came problems. Boosie's career has been interrupted multiple times by arrests, probation violations, and high-profile charges. From drug cases to accusations of more serious crimes, it often felt like the system was always waiting for its chance to take him down. Despite all that, Boosie managed to keep pushing forward, building an empire, becoming a voice of the streets, and staying relevant in a game where careers come and go quickly. But just when it seemed like he was finally getting his footing back in the industry, the law came knocking again. Boosie's current trial is not just another minor case. It's one of the most significant legal battles of his life. Prosecutors have been determined to build a strong case against him, and insiders say this trial could potentially lock him away for decades if things don't go his way. The courtroom was already filled with tension before Charleston White's name even came into the picture. Fans, reporters, and legal experts were watching closely, knowing that whatever decision came out of this trial would either revive Boosie's career or put an end to it for good. And then came the chaos. To understand why Charleston White's name is even tied to this courtroom brawl, you have to look at who Charleston White really is. Charleston has made himself one of the most controversial personalities in the hip-hop world. He speaks without fear, attacks rappers with words sharper than knives, and often goes where no one else dares to go. He has called out everyone from Young Thug to King Von's legacy. But when it comes to Boosie, the tension is on another level. For years, Charleston has accused Boosie of glorifying crime, misguiding the youth, and keeping a destructive gangster image alive. And unlike other rappers who ignore Charleston's rants, Boosie actually clapped back. Their feud grew hotter with each exchange, filled with insults, threats, and endless online battles. So when Boosie finally landed back in court, Charleston saw it as an opportunity to settle scores. Witnesses described the courtroom scene like something out of a movie. Just as proceedings were starting, several men in the crowd, later believed to be connected to Charleston White, suddenly stood up and began causing a scene. Shouts rang out. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Police officers stationed inside the courtroom rushed in to control the situation. But that's when the real fight broke out. According to reports, chairs were knocked over, court officials scrambled for safety, and the gang members attempted to create enough chaos to disrupt the session completely. Some even believe the plan was to intimidate or physically harm Boosie right there in court. But the police were quick. Within minutes, they had detained several of the men and cleared the room. Boosie himself was immediately taken out under heavy security, and the judge had no choice but to suspend the trial until further notice. The craziest part? Despite the madness, no one was seriously hurt. This isn't just about a trial anymore. It's about how far a feud can go when a courtroom, the very place meant to uphold justice, turns into a battleground between police and gang members. It sends shockwaves everywhere. It shows that Charleston White's reach, influence, and boldness are unlike anything we've seen before. For Boosie, this is even worse news. Not only is his freedom at stake, but now his trial has been thrown into chaos that could potentially hurt his chances of a fair judgment. Judges and prosecutors don't take kindly to courtroom disruptions, and Boosie may end up paying the price for something he didn't even cause. After the incident, the courtroom was shut down and the trial was postponed. Legal experts believe this delay could stretch for weeks or even months, depending on how investigations unfold. Police are now looking closely into whether Charleston White had direct ties to the men who caused the fight, and if it's proven that he orchestrated the chaos, it could lead to serious legal consequences for him as well. Meanwhile, Boosie sits in limbo. His fans are frustrated, his lawyers are furious, and his future hangs in the balance. The longer this drags out, the worse it becomes for him, because public perception can shift quickly, and prosecutors may try to spin this chaos as further evidence that Boosie is surrounded by criminal activity. As expected, Charleston White did not stay silent. Within hours of the incident, he went live online, taunting Boosie and bragging that he still has unfinished business. While he didn't outright admit to hiring the man, his cryptic statements made it clear that he was taking pride in what went down. For Charleston, this is just another notch in his belt of controversies. For Boosie, though, it's a nightmare. The more Charleston keeps fanning the flames, the harder it becomes for Boosie to fight his battle in peace. This isn't just a rap beef anymore. It's personal, it's dangerous, and it has already crossed lines that most hip-hop rivalries never reach. Charleston White has proven that he's willing to go beyond words, and Boosie is caught in a legal trap that could change his life forever. With both men unwilling to back down, this story is far from over, and the hip-hop world is watching closely.
New footage just blew up. Fulio's crew and Youngin Ace going at it right inside the courtroom.
I need the
New footage just blew up. Fulio's crew and Youngin Ace going at it right inside the courtroom.